Why is everyone so offended by Greta Thernburg? Seriously, like, she's a teenager talking about climate change, and you have a bunch of 50 to 67-year-olds complaining online about what she's saying. I don't quite get it, because you may disagree with the nuance of the science of it, right? But if you had a choice, would you prefer to live in a place that's polluted or not polluted, right? The science is pretty conclusive that climate change is real. But let's just pretend that it's not. Let's pretend that climate change is a massive myth. Wouldn't you still prefer to live somewhere that's cleaner? Wouldn't you still prefer to, use a more efficient and effective source of energy or move down that path? I mean, the sun is free, right? So, over time, the technology to harvest that energy, same as water, same as everything else, will get cheaper. That seems like a far better option to me. So I can't quite grasp why there's such a backlash and outrage at this child talking about wanting to live in a cleaner and healthier world. Now, yes, some of her facts may be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a climate scientist, right? I haven't looked into it. But I know that the people that are posting and talking about it and getting outraged by it aren't either. The information that I get and that you're getting and that they're getting come from the same sources, right? We can all have access to this information. So if you're curious about it, look into it. And when you look into it, you'll probably see that there's a pretty strong consensus. The minutiae, the details may be slightly changed, but it's pretty clear that humans cause a lot of destruction. We're clearing out stuff and it's not manageable. I think there's a couple of things going on here. Number one, it's hard to imagine the world on a world scale. We only evolved to really focus on our close-knit environment. So when we hear about stuff happening in other countries that we've never been to, that we've never heard of, it's hard to put ourselves in that mindset. So if climate change is happening, if waters rise and all that sort of stuff, it's going to happen in countries and places where we're not first. So it's hard for us to put ourselves in those sort of give ourselves enough empathy for that. But secondly, and more importantly, I think there's a social media trap happening. You clicked on this video because I'm talking about something political, right? This is the going meta here. This is how the social media and news cycle works. Something gets sparked and it causes outrage. That outrage causes further outrage and further outrage and further outrage. Then everyone's talking about the issue. And because of that, it feels like you need to jump on and choose one side. You're either with Greta or you're against her. How about we have some nuance here? How about rather than going, oh, she's just a spoiled brat, or she's, the best thing ever, how about we have some nuance? How about we use the fact that she's grown in this popularity? I looked on Twitter, she's got like 3.2 million followers, right? So obviously she's hitting a nerve somewhere. Obviously she's talking about stuff that we care about as a species. How about we use that as a talking point to talk about this further? Not attacking each other, not causing, derision or anything like that. But hey, let's have a legitimate conversation and let's talk about the reasons why. Potentially some of the reasons why people are against her, that, there are vested interests in oil, there are vested interests in the status quo, because why? Well, if there's money in the way things are already happening, right? So there's a vested interest from, elites to keep things the way they are. And if you try and change to a more sustainable future, money and power will change because the infrastructure will change, because the people, selling those products to the mass consumers, to us, will change. Fair enough. I see why they have those vested interests. It's highly selfish. It's terrible that people would put, their one short life ahead of humanity's, but, people be greedy. But what about you the individual, or the people that you see on Facebook that sort of will post things and sort of beat her down, as in Greta, for speaking out? It's very easy to get on board and to feel like you have to say something about something. And I guess there's that feeling of, when you meet someone who's very strongly opinionated in their topic, and the cliche is the vegan or the fundamentalist, or anyone with a very, very sort of niche lifestyle. It's like they're always going to tell you about it. And then the counterpoint is like, well, you stay with your people and we'll go over here and be normal. So it's very easy to get on the other side of this and be like, oh, just shut up. I prefer to look at the nuance. I prefer to consider, okay, what's actually happening? It's clear that humans make a massive difference in this world, right? It's clear. Our population is just skyrocketing. We clear forests, we build, infrastructure. Look at pictures of places where there used to be not a city and now where there is a city. It's like, it's clear we're going to make a change to this world. It's clear that if you change things, other things can happen. It's also clear that humans as a species, whilst we're very smart, we're also very dumb in the sense we don't know what our impacts are going to be. We don't know what will happen if we do this, this will happen. I mean, really, we don't even know what will happen in our own lives. If I post this video, what will happen? Well, people might listen to it, they might not. I have no idea. But what I do know is that something will happen, right? I've made a change, something will happen. The same thing, if we continue the way we are, stuff will happen. Will it be as bad as Greta's predicting or as the climate scientists are predicting? Maybe, maybe not. But it's certain that something will happen. Regardless, let's have the conversation. Let's not judge. There are people online, people in person that fall very heavily on either side. And I struggle to talk or debate and to have the engagement because I can't be bothered fighting through the dogma and the media brainwashing of either this is great or this is terrible. Let's try and have a discussion here. Let's go deep into it. Let's talk about it and realize that it's not just a random political issue. It's literally talking about our future. And this isn't just applying to, climate change. It's also applying to like nuclear weapons or biological weapons or AI or all of these sort of things that could potentially cripple or alter humanity drastically. It's easy to just go, I believe this, or, right wing, left wing, all of that sort of stuff. And it's very clear divide and everyone just ends up yelling at each other. Nuance is necessary. Let's talk. Let's talk without judgment. The thing I want to end with is the idea that, it's okay to disagree with someone without hating that person. People disagree with me and I disagree with them all the time in certain areas, but I don't have to hate them for it, right? We can have a discussion. We can talk about it. We can stay calm. We can look at different sources and resources and all of that sort of stuff. Perhaps I'll change your mind. Perhaps you'll change my mind. But if we go into an argument as an argument, not as a discussion, not as a learning tool, we're done. It's not going to happen. There is no point to even making that debate. And I fear that that's what's happening with this issue and with every issue, that it's left and right, or it's, young and old, or it's rich and poor. We're all the same species. We all live on this same planet. We all have the same internal mental states, right? Let's talk. Let's be open to change. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to learn. It's okay to be different. I hate how politicians will stick to what they believe, and if they change what they believe, they're taught that they're accused of being a flip-flopper. If I was a politician and I changed my mind and I was accused of being a flip-flopper, I'll be like, yeah, I did change my mind. I learnt some more, and now I've got a different opinion. I learnt. That's how we, that's how we go. I mean, when you were young, you had certain beliefs that you've changed because you have wisdom, because you went to school, because you've learnt, because you've had experience, right? It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to have your mind changed. In fact, you should be open to it. You should be open to things changing your mind. So with that in mind, the next time you see a post, or the next time you hear someone talking about it, or next time you feel like you want to talk about one of these issues, like the Gretta Thernburg issue, like climate change in general, be open to all perspectives. Listen. Ask for resources, but not in an accusation way. Just say, hey, I want to make sure that we're all talking on the same point. Like, where do we get our knowledge from? And then work towards it. Catch ya.